flat, sky, just like the surface of the Earth. But again, how the sun is working, how the celestial is working, it's a bit of a mystery to me. So obviously, for you, they must have to fake the 24-hour sun in in Antarctica, in because like in your model, then the circling sun cannot possibly work. And like, do you think that you could be possibly be open to the idea that the circling sun could be, wrong? Do you think that's a possibility? Is there
No,
any
I don't think
possibility?
that the cycling sun, it's being recorded in our history, in our cultures.
How would the sheepfucker in a dress 2000 years ago would have figured out what is happening and what is observed 2000 miles east or west?
Okay, all cultures they have their astronomers and observations of the sky, of the sun. Uh, it's pretty. Now, as I said, they are just going there. They cannot leave Union Glacier, right? They cannot live there. They're gonna be like in there. They cannot leave that area. If they could go another 5 miles south or 10 miles south, you know, or 15 miles, they can't, right? They're gonna be observing something from there. So NASA can go 15 miles south, 20 miles south. You know, the handlers, they can set up something there, right? And the guys can easily be deceived.
Oh, deceived. How? Are they going to put up a fake sun or so? Where do they get the energy from? Solar panels or a big wire?
I was deceived during 9/11. I thought real planes hit those buildings. The sun is circling, weather is reflecting the dome and doing some fun stuff. I don't know. It's very difficult to know. And but
Okay, you're talking about the caustic coffee cup
yeah,
caustic.
yeah, something like that. Yes, yes, similar to that.
Coffee cum caustic. Yeah, get lost. That's just bullshit. I believe Richard came up with that shit. And then Flat Soy took over. And the rest of the fake flat earthers. But according to the data, the celestial data, sun calc data, there is a sun visible at the south everywhere. And it's not only light. This is what's happening in the south. People see a sun and not only some light. This is what's happening according to sun calc and all other celestial data at the same moment. Look here, the celestial data. 80 latitude south, prime meridian. The sun is visible. You can take a sextant observation. And here, 90 degrees east, the sun is visible. And here, 180 degrees, the sun is visible. And 90 degrees west, the sun is visible. Of course, we can add more locations in the south. And the sun is always visible. In December, at the same moment. And we can verify this data with the USNO website. This is an azimuth of 91.4 and an altitude of 23.57. Oh, here, look. Huh, it matches. And here, sun calc at the same location. Azimuth 91.4, altitude 23.6. Same data. And we can navigate with this data, celestial navigation. So Benjo, if you are saying the Suncock data is correct, why don't you use it?
Let me answer this question. I forgot you had mentioned about Sankalk. Yes, I think Sankalk is correct.
Sitting there and they're being flown in there, and then they have to be observing. So like if they are observing the 24-hour sun, this simulator sun must be going on there during the winter months, I guess is my point.
Yeah. So, I don't know. And as we know, the sun is not, it's an apparent sun. Whether they are seeing the real sun there, I doubt it.
Oh, he doubt seeing a real sun down below. How do you determine it's a real sun or an apparent sun? According to you, the real sun is traveling between the tropics. That's the sun you use. And in fact, that is the mean sun that only exists on paper. So in the south, people see the real sun. Or I must say, a real sun.
Okay, they may be seeing something. It's a reflection on the firmament.
Are all the people in these Antarctica stations seeing a reflection in a dome? And according to Banjo, this is all happening of the mean sun that is traveling between the tropics. So that one must be the real one.
Or I don't know. I don't think it's the real sun because the sun is apparent. You cannot say, okay, that's the real sun right there.
No. You know where the sun is? It's traveling between the tropics. You remember?
With the sun and moon circulating around Mount Meru. I don't think they were wrong. I think Jake Asshole is wrong.
Obviously Jake the Asshole can have his opinions, and like I'm more aligned with Jake the Asshole and Q and Phi at the moment.
My position is that something circles the flat plane, but in that region, the equator, where the sun has to circle 2 times on its way to the south and back to the north. And I don't know if I convinced you of the circling sun, but I don't think the Japanese, the Chinese, the Mongolians, the Koreans, they were wrong. I don't think the Japanese made all those mechanical stuff 200 years ago.
I like the AE map. I think the AE map is the best map available, the one that you are using. But again, what the Celestial is doing, I'm still a little bit confused on.
No,
So I don't follow this circling sun. I do believe that the sun is actually rising and setting, and I've seen it myself, and I've seen videos of that, and I think there are a lot of documentations in regards to it. Now, that I'm not making a claim about I know what it is and how it works. I think it's very much like somehow our own reality. That's the way in which I have to kind of look at it, because like and yes, in 24 hours it comes to the same spot, but then again, like, is that a physical thing? I mean, yes, I do get a tan or whatever from the sun, but how it works again with my physical body, and the plants and everything, I do not know. So I'm not going to make any claims about that. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay. So Q and Phi does a great work. As far as the sun, what I'm asking you guys to consider all the longitudinal lines. Don't just pick one and base the whole thing in one, because all longitudinal lines are based on the center pole, which is the North Pole. So, when you do your research, do all over, just like I showed you, not just one. Don't pick just one, okay, that's what the sun does, because in this longitude, no, pick all the other ones, because the pi can be divided in 24, 36, 48, 96, 100, all right? The sun, very long south, would rise southwest and set south, would rise southeast and set southwest. But again, that's equal to every longitudinal line. So everybody observes the same thing. Okay, this guy here, okay, the sun is rising southeast and setting southwest. And so this guy, and so this guy, and so this guy. And that's a circling sun, Yes, I think Sankalk is correct. So sun calc is very interesting because it shows that the sun, as I have played that's a U.S. Navy uh, celestial navigation video.
Ah, yeah, the one you use from my channel, from my playlist, old school celestial navigation.
The sun does not have a uniform movement. It means that it moves in different speed per the hour. Sometimes sun calc has it. Okay, the sun moving 22 degrees in 1 hour, and the same sun calc has had in the past the sun moving only 7 degrees in 1 hour.
Yeah, each location looking at the sun that have different speeds per hour. Some move 20, some move 6. Very irregular. And that's why they made up this mean sun data with GHA and declination. This mean sun is traveling between the tropics and have a regular motion of 15 degrees per hour. In December the 21st, it's at the 23rd latitude south. And if we look here, at the tip of South America, the sun rises south of east and not travels over the Tropic of Capricorn. As you can see, you dodge Nachikita's questions about this and you answer them with bullshit.
But I believe, that's my take, that don't matter how many, like you have 24, you can add 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 24. You can add 10, 10, 4, 24. You can add 2, 2, 2, but the same, at the very end, you're going to have 24 hours. So I think the sun does this not uniform, like irregular movement, but it's back at the same place in 24 hours.
Every 24 hours it comes back. Yeah, that's correct.
That's what my take is.
The apparent motion of the sun is not uniform. For this reason, it would be difficult to construct a clock capable of keeping this irregular time.
How do you construct a clock? That's impossible. So that's why we construct a system with a mean sun that travels between the tropics and have a regular motion of 15 degrees an hour. That's the mean sun.
Therefore, a mean or imaginary sun is used. This mean sun is assumed to have a uniform rate of motion with respect to the Earth. The time measured by the mean or imaginary sun is called mean or civil time, and uses a mean or imaginary sun as its reference point.
Okay, now the hourly, it can move 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 7 degrees. I don't know, it's irregular. And NASA knows that, the government knows that. That's why they have the mean sun. Everything is based on the mean sun.
Yeah, and you are using it as the real sun that travels between the tropics.
So this is about sun calc. Now, the observation that you told me about Ushuaia or Punta Cadenas in Chile, if you can you just go back to my screen for a little second, please?
What is this? Is this about the sunrise angle in Ushuaia?
So
Absolutely.
this is an animation an Australian guy created some like 9 years ago. Okay, so he has what I believe there is a firmament, and he has the movement of the stars being reflected.
Oh no. Let me kill that idea in a second. So here in the south, people see the stars rotate clockwise, and if it was a reflection, oops, then the opposite side should rotate in the opposite direction, of course. This rotates like this, and if it reflects, it also should go in this direction, of course. That is how reflections work.
Okay, so we have four corners, and that's what he believes this thing goes. Okay, it reflects, right? And this is for the sun. You know, some people, this is more modern. That's how you see the sun rising southeast and setting southwest.
Now let's see. We have the mean sun traveling between the tropics, in this case over the Tropic of Capricorn at December the 21st, when people see the sunrise anywhere along this line. So where is the mean sun when the sun is rising? The observed sun have an angle of almost 134, while the mean sun have a declination of 23.4 south, and the Greenwich hour angle is 301. 301. That's a long way, 5,200 miles or 8,500 kilometers in the wrong direction.
Because kind of there's a reflection either of the firmament or the local, your local dome.
Reflect of the dome is a no-go, I just showed it. Or a reflection of the local dome. How does that work?
I can go outside tonight and record the stars circulating. Now let's look at the stars. Okay, this is a star trail taken from Canada. You can see.
Oh, are these star trails from Canada? Let's have a look at it. Somewhere in Canada. Vega. Have an azimuth of 341 and an altitude of, let's say, 13. Vega in my app, it matches the data from Stellarium. An azimuth of 341 and an altitude of 13. Somewhere in Canada. Altitude 13. Azimuth 341. So If the star is circling in the dome, you have to see it through daylight. And you told us you cannot see some constellations because the sun is in front of it. It's too light. But you claim you can see stars circling in the dome through daylight. Do you understand?
So right now the sun is in Virgo, right here. So we cannot see this constellation at night. You go outside and now you won't be able to see because the sun is right here.
Here we cannot see the stars because the sun is in front of it. And in the model you claim you can't see the stars when the sun is in front of it. Huh.
Okay, at the equator, this is the equinox. And remember, if the sun is in Libra, the sun will be in Libra for the entire month. It has to be rotating to hide this constellation. And the sun hides the entire constellation. Okay, so even though we do have a circling sun, because it's so close to the end of the Earth, it kind of reflects and bounces off. And that's how everybody there sees the sun rising southeast and setting southwest.
I just have shown you all your crap is just bullshit. Nothing works in your presentation.
That's what I think. It's very hard to know because I don't know anything,
That's very clear. You don't know anything about the celestials. How long you been in the flat earth? I may ask. You did not evolve all those years.
Been studying flat earth for 9 years.
9 years, you say? Huh. Same shit for 9 years. Time you're going to evolve a little bit. And another thing, you're telling bullshit about me. About my modeling. For example, on the equinox, that I only use one longitude. No.
What are your thoughts on Q and Phi and the kind of research that he is doing? Do you you must not agree with it because it actually goes against this model.
No, I agree. Qian Phi is a great guy. I have admired his work for a long time, actually. Right? So I'm not saying what I think this guy should do is not pick just one longitudinal line.
That is some kind of straw man. Do you watch my videos? Here, you can almost pick these videos at my channel blindly. I always do more than one longitude line, mostly 3. But it doesn't matter if I do 1 or 3 or 5 or 10. The more I do, the more it destroys your circling sun model. Do you understand?
Okay, so I can only speculate. So this is always speculation. The polar projection we need is to navigate based on the North Pole right here. So you gotta have, there's no other way. And what I would say, I see that Jake is at the chat. When he bases his observation 90 degrees, don't pick just one longitudinal line. We have 24 at least. And Jake Gibson is wrong. That's my position, right? Okay, you have all those lines. So don't pick just one, which is the meridian Greenwich. You gotta make it.
Do you believe that Jake was straw manning the argument by just choosing one Greenwich time with the equinox? Is that the claim?
I think no, Jake. He doesn't really do a lot of research, and when he wants to do something, he asks Q and Phi to do it for him. All right. Okay. So when you look at the sun, don't pick just one of them. Just like I showed you, like when you are 0, that's the observation. But if you move 15 degrees and then another 15, all over, you're going to have the same observation. So the sun rises 90 and sets to 70 on the equinox for everyone around the plane. So how does it do? How does it do it? I have no idea.
Yeah. So I obviously, you are familiar with Jake the Asshole, and you also know that Q and Fee does his own research. So your model of the way in which that you understand, actually, this is the very much vast majority of the flat earthers follow this model of the AE map and the circling sun. And obviously, David Weiss's app is also a part of this model that you have presented. So what are your thoughts on Q and Fee and the kind of research that he is doing? Do you must not agree with it because it actually goes against this model?
No, I agree. Kian Fee is a great guy. I have admired his work for a long time. Actually,
I left you off the hook for all these years, but you were going too far with your bullshit. And maybe you don't think I'm a nice guy anymore after what I have shown in this video.
he had his channel deleted.
3 of my channels are deleted. Thousands of videos are gone.
He had a lot of stuff. He's the one that showed you don't need the continents here.
Oh, that video is still at my main channel. Here, Ball Earth navigation made easy by me. So the video is still online.
You can base your navigation only on the 360, and you can find your longitude and latitude right there. And then when you place that on top of the A map, it matches.
Of course it does. I can do this on the Mercator map. Same shit, as long as it have a coordinate system.
Let's say Brisbane. Okay, you get the coordinates, you get a polar projection, and you do all the drawing. 360 you find, and then if you get that and put on top of the A map, that's Brisbane right there, and then you can pick any other city. All right. So I'm not saying what I think this guy should do is not pick just one longitudinal line.
Mostly, when I do modeling, I pick more than one single longitude line.
Do the observation as many longitudinal lines as possible. Let's say 12.
Modeling up the sun from 12 different longitude lines. Why you don't do that yourself and see that even destroys your circling sun model even more? I will do 5 different longitudes, okay? 5 different longitudes. Here is one, prime meridian, about the 30 east, 60 east, 90 east, and 180th longitude. Is that enough? So the sun is circling over the equator, you say? Yeah, the closer we come to the point where the sun is overhead, the sun seems to come closer together. But that will only be at noon for this meridian. So where is the circling sun? Over the equator. To make the sunrise 90 degrees, I have to place it on top of the location. Well, maybe you have to take sun coke and a map and do it yourself to see my modeling is correct.
Okay, not just one. Don't pick just one, because that longitudinal line is based on the polar projection. All right, and we don't have only one. We have at least 24.
I challenge you to do 12 for the sun or the moon.
How is it possible for people to be observing the sun rising in the southeast and setting in the southwest if that sun is singular and then it is between Cancer and Capricorn? Because that should be north. That should be north
Yeah.
of where these people are at. So how do you explain that?
Well, as I have a 45 minutes video that I dug into the Brazilian mission in Antarctica. They have three bases there. They have a permanent base at 63 South. They have two temporary bases, one at 79 South, another one in 84 South. And that's run by the military, the Brazilian military. And 40 years of presence there, I dug into that. One officer explained exactly when he's in Antarctica, he faces north. In the winter time in Antarctica, he sees the sun rising always around the horizontal, because that's their winter. So he rises northeast and sets northwest. Okay, just barely touching the horizon. He sees it. When it's their summer, he observes the sun coming over his head and going northwest. Okay, that's his observation. I don't know. Some people say that the sun rises southeast and sets southwest there. I find conflicting arguments on that, because that's what, I based on nowadays. He said it specifically, not only him, two other people that I featured on the video, they observed the sun coming from northeast and going southwest, not making a 360 around them. So I don't know, as far as I have conflicting arguments on that. So until I could make this my observation by myself, I can't tell you. My ideas, it's based on what those guys, being 40 years in Antarctica, that's what they presented us.
As long you cannot observe it yourself. But you just told the story about some Russian guys being 40 years in Antarctica. You depending on that story, you not observe that yourself.
So until I could make this my observation by myself, I can't tell you. My ideas, it's based on what those guys, being 40 years in Antarctica, that's what they presented us. So
But if the sun is singular, right? If the sun is singular, and then you're observing the sun between Capricorn and Cancer, as we have talked about earlier, and then if you're in the south of Capricorn, if you're south of Capricorn, like in South America, South Africa, Australia, for example,
all right, and it hides the constellations, which is circling around the flat plane.
Constellations circling around the flat plane. Clearly not. Look, the star, Hadar. This not circles around a flat plane. It circles right in front of this observer's nose here. No circling around the flat plane. And according to the celestial data, Hadar is present on 3 locations: South America, Africa, South Africa, and Australia.
And that's, to me, it's evidence that we do have, also not only that, we have the seasons, right? If you see the equator, Nachi, when I'm here in Japan, it's pretty cold, but I have family split north of Brazil, right at the equator, and south of Brazil. South of Brazil gets pretty cold. Sometimes, rarely, but sometimes we have snow there. They just had snow in South Africa, not couple, I think a year ago or something like that. So it gets pretty cold, right? So, all right. So I don't know if I have made myself clear. My position is that something circles the flat plane. So we do have a circling sun, okay? That the sun does circle. The sun is circling, whether it's reflecting the dome. So the sun, there's no other way. The sun has to be circling the flat Earth. There's no other way. Shows that we have a circling sun. We have to have a circling sun. The sun will travel. It's gonna hide that constellation, okay, for about a month. Something circles the flat plane, but in that region, the equator, where the sun has to circle 2 times,